This is your wood season warm-up. Hi, I'm Dr. Lindsay Trottier. I'm a doctor of acupuncture and Chinese medicine practicing in San Diego, California. And today's warm-up and movement prescription is for the wood season or spring. Wood is part of the 5-element cycle. It is the first element in the cycle and is associated with new beginnings. It's also associated with the wind and with the sides of our body, specifically the gallbladder meridian and the liver meridians. So this warm-up is going to help get activation through those parts of our body, get us in tune with the season. After the water season or winter, we may have a little bit more storage on us. So this is the perfect time to get moving and use that stored up energy in your day. So you can do this without any equipment. However, I am going to show you how to incorporate a foam roller into this warm-up. I always like to start with the breath. A really good activation breath to get you in tune with the wood season and open up the sides of the bodies is a rib cage expanding breath. You've probably seen me teach a belly breathing exercise, but this one is going to open up more the rib cage. We're still going to be pulling down with the diaphragm, but we're going to think about opening up sideways through the rib cage. And it's going to look like this on a breath in and a breath out. So we're expanding out and contracting in. This is a really good activating breath. So you could do 5 to 10 breaths like this. And you're gonna feel really energized. So what are some other movements that we can do to wake up the sides of our bodies? A side stretch. So make sure you have watched my standing video to get a really good base. You're going to open up the sides of the bodies by hinging over, raising your arm. And you know, I like dynamic stretches. So I'm not holding these for too long because I want to wake up the sides of my body and get more blood flow through these muscles. So I'm not going super deep on these, just enough to feel a stretch. I'm feeling the stretch all the way through here. So after I've done about 10 each side, then I can go a little bit deeper. Hold for a couple seconds and then exhale and see how much farther I can go. And then the other side. Hold for 10 seconds. Take that deep breath into the side here and exhale. I'll go a little bit further. I really feel this in my hips. Another great way to open up the sides of the bodies is actually not just in this sagittal plane, but also in the transverse plane. So does that look like circles? One of our extraordinary meridians is called the daimai, or the waist vessel, or the girdle, and it's usually thought of coming around the waist, but it actually rules the whole transverse plane. So it's everything that goes around, okay? So I like to start off with ankle circles, both ways, and start moving up the body. Knee circles, hip circles, and this is one that my patients usually find a little bit more challenging, but it's great to help open up the digestion, is waist circles. So now I'm isolating my waist from my hips. If you haven't done this in a while, you might find you're really stiff through the thoracic vertebrae, and that is why a lot of people will have chronic low back pain, chronic neck and shoulder pain. Not being able to have flexibility through this midsection will cause too much work here, okay? So do your waist circles. If you're not quite there for circles, you can start with putting your arms out, getting your base, and think about getting tugged this way and then tugged this way and going back and forth. Again, this is still opening up the waist. So we said that the wind is associated with the wood season, the wood element. And one way that we can get wind trapped in our body is like tremors. So when the wind gets in, we also want to get it out. So one Qigong exercise you can do is doing some shaking. And you can do it just, you've maybe seen my spaghetti arms. You can shake like this. And it doesn't have to be done a certain way, just shaking. You can breathe in and drop and shake. Now my assistant's coming. Breathe in, drop in, shut it out loud.
Shake it.
Breathe in,
Shake it.
shake it.
Okay. The high.
Yep, go high and drop and shake. This is really gonna get all that pent up energy, all that frustration, all that anger that is associated with the wood, the liver and the gallbladder meridians out of the body. Okay, so just really shake it out of you. Okay, one more. And drop. And it's fun. All right, so I said that I usually like to start with this dynamic stuff, but we can always end with some static stretching, static and hold. And I love using the foam roller. The foam roller is a great way to break up the fascia or the saran wrap that's holding our muscles together. A lot of times what's happening with tight muscles is that the fascia is getting wound up, okay? So the foam roller is like a self-massage that will help break it up. One thing I see in the gym that breaks my heart is seeing people try to roll out their IT band and rolling right on their IT band. You do not want to roll right over the IT band. The IT band is a tendon, it's not a muscle. It's not going to give, it doesn't have the right anatomy and physiology to contract and relax like a muscle does. So what you want to do is you want to focus on this little muscle right here called the TFL that sits on the gallbladder meridian, again the yang wood meridian. And then you're actually going to come in front of the IT band, so a little bit on the quad, and then a little bit behind, so back here on these hamstrings, okay? Then to balance out the IT band, you need to make sure that the adductors are also nice, open, and loose. So these are the inside, we call this the liver meridian. This is the yin wood, okay? So I'll demonstrate what those foam rolling exercises look like. So getting your foam roller on the ground, there's a couple ways to do this. You can sit, we'll start on the back side first, and you can just roll easily back and forth, back and forth. If you don't quite have core strength yet, this might be where you want to stop. But if you have a little bit of core strength, you can move this down, lift this leg, maybe even lift this leg if you really want to get in there, and roll back and forth, working your way down toward the knee. Now remember, I said we want to foam roll over muscles, not tendons, not ligaments. So as you make your way toward the knee, you always want to give about 4 fingers distance from a joint and where you're rolling. So I don't want to get any closer to my knee than this. Okay? So rolling these muscles and then even coming back up. Okay? And if I really want to get into here, I can hold. Okay? Now to get to the front side, we're gonna go at a diagonal angle. So again, starting at this small muscle right here called the TFL, we're gonna work in here. And then slowly coming just to in front of the IT band on that quad. Working it out. Okay. And then the other side quickly just to balance out. The front. These inner muscles in the liver meridian, these adductors, they're going to be a little bit more tender than out here. There's not an imbalance between these two. These ones are meant to be stronger. They're yang associated muscles. These are yin associated muscles. So you can do it on the ground and put some body weight into it. However, just as effective is putting the foam roller between your legs. And then what you can do is squeeze in with your legs and twist your hips by moving your knees back and forth. And I promise you, you will feel it working in to the adductors. Okay? So go as high as you can. Go back and forth 10 times. Move it down a little bit. Back and forth 10 times. Working your way down. Okay? And again, you don't want to get right on the knee, but have about 4 fingers. So that's as low as I'm going to go. All right, another way I like to use the foam roller for the side of my body is right here. These muscles here, the lats, the serratus anterior, the subscapularis. These muscles are often much tighter and the root of problem for this lower back pain that comes up to about here and our shoulder pain. Okay, a lot of times people will work right on these muscles and totally neglect here. Why that is because you generally don't feel how tight these are, because in the tug of war of muscles, the really, really tight muscles win. You don't feel the pain. The weaker losers are where you feel the pain. So people will work on these ones and neglect this one. So what you can do is take the foam roller and you can go on the ground or you can go up against a wall. And I don't have one right now, but you can go up against a wall and say the foam roller's up against the wall. You can put your arm up against the wall and work like this into those muscles. So you're going to go straight on. You can turn toward and some flexibility right here. Turn away. Okay, so what that looks like on the floor. Is getting right here, and it's gonna be pretty intense if you've never done this before. So just small movements. You don't have to put all your weight. If it's too intense to keep your arm up, you can put it down. Okay? And then tilting a little bit away. So getting here, right about this back of your shoulder blade. I can even feel this opening my neck. And then tilting toward it. And these are pretty tight on me, so I don't have to do much movement to feel this open up. And again, working up and down these muscles. So this is the wood season warm-up that you can do during the wood season or spring, but you can also do this anytime, especially if you're feeling tight in the sides, or if you feel feelings of frustration and anger creeping up. I'm Dr. Lindsay Trottier, thanks for watching. Comment below which was your favorite exercise, and make sure to subscribe to my channel for more seasonal workouts. Thanks.